All right, so this is my second attempt at live streaming. I don't know if this is working or not, but I have to have faith. Thank you for your support. A lot of people have encouraged me to do this. Um, I'm more of a behind the camera kind of a person, being a filmmaker, being a producer, but I'm always kind of like a one woman show. So I'm going to be going into remote areas in Peru to finish working on my documentary. It's a documentary that I started over 2 years ago. And basically what I found was that there was a lot of problems in a lot of places in the world because of foreign nationals coming in and being less than respectful to indigenous people or people of lower social economic standing. These people are being pushed from their land in marginalized because they're in the way of big projects, whether that be hydroelectric projects to bring power in, or mining, or oil and gas resource extraction, deforestation, monoculture. These small farmers in Peru that have been growing the same crops for hundreds and hundreds and thousands of years are basically pushed from their land so that they can be replaced by a Monsanto derivative that's growing crap. So basically this is what happened. Was I went down into Peru, I saw a lot of problems, I interviewed a lot of people, I shot a lot of footage, and what I came back with was a lot of problems. And I realized that nobody wants to watch a film about a lot of problems. So I sort of sat down and thought, what needs to happen? What needs to happen is, first of all, people need to be educated about what's going on. Yes, we need to know what the problems are. There's no shortage of problems, and there's no shortage of me being able to expose them. But more importantly, what I want to do is I want to look at what are solutions. How can we help to find solutions for some of these problems? Whether that be enforcing the regulatory standards for oil and gas extraction, pushing the governments to be more diligent on their it's really hard to say, because a lot of times what happens is that these companies that come in make deals with the government, and it's all corruption. So it's what we need to do is curtail the corruption, expose the corruption, but also there's solutions as far as how can we take a contaminated area and help to repurpose that area. People who've been pushed off their land, who have lost their ways of making a living, whether that be fishing or farming or craftsperson. These are people who are living in poverty, and these huge foreign national corporations come in and make millions and millions of dollars and just leave the whole place devastated. So what I want to do is I want to create a platform where people can brainstorm solutions, where we can set up communication methods so that we can go after the government and force them to do their due diligence, where we can expose the crimes of these major corporations, and where we can have discussion about how we can do things differently just to make our world a little bit better place. I mean, the Amazon forest and the Amazon basin in Peru is one of the most biodiverse regions in the world. If we lose that biodiversity, it's like a butterfly effect, or a snowball, whatever analogy you want to choose, is when you destroy the fabric of the balance of nature, it just spirals out of control. And we're at the point now where we're hitting a tipping point on the warming of the planet, the extinction of so many species. Our oceans are dying, and the Amazon, I feel, is an area of the world that we really need to join together and protect this area, because it's the lungs of our planet. And the history in that area, it's been there's just a magical history there that if people knew and experienced what it was. So that's my hope, is I can go down there and I can share what it's like to be there. I can show you who these people are, how beautiful they are. Bye, sweetie. Have a good day. And sorry, my granddaughter's just going to work. So what I want to do is I want to just show that there are solutions, and that these people are good people, and that they're trying their best to do something, but they're like, what we've got a small person fighting against a huge giant. So I want to just even that up a little bit by helping to back them up with with people who like you and I, who care. So I'm going to be going down. I'm leaving on Monday. It's kind of crazy. Excuse me. I'm freaking out about all the things I have to do between now and then, but I have promised people that what I will do is I'm going to make a regular upload to the internet, probably once a week. I'm going to be in remote areas, so it's going to be a little tricky. Whenever I can, I'll put a quick update on. I've got a lot of good contacts down there, so hopefully we can start a process where we can actually do something wonderful down there. And I thank you all for your support. Hit my go button and the computer started going. Hi everybody, I'm Alison Richards, aka Noni, and on Monday I'm heading to Peru. I started a documentary down there I started working on the documentary about 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago, and I was down for 4 months in Peru last year and found a lot of problems. So what I did was I interviewed a bunch of people, I shot a bunch of footage, and I came back to Vancouver, and I just found that I just had like a lot of problems. But what I didn't have was solutions, reasons, or anything that made any sense. I don't really think people want to sit and watch a whole documentary that just rolls out a bunch of problems but doesn't have anything else to offer. So I'm going back to Peru, and I'm going to be working with some conservationists, some environmental people, some activists, some scientists and researchers. And what I want to do is I want to show that here's the problems. Yes, there are problems. A lot of the problems related to the indigenous people there are caused by foreign nationals who are coming in for extracting resources, oil, gas, gold, taking away the trees, or the small independent farmers are being pushed from their land. In monoculture is being brought in by Monsanto and these bigger organizations. So I want to show the problem, but I want to show also the potential solutions. And the other thing that I'm interested in doing as well is when I was down there, I was in one area where there was a lot of illegal gold mining going on. 30,000 active gold mines in Peru. Now, a lot of those are illegal gold mines, and what happens is when someone gets pushed off their land and they can't farm or they can't fish anymore, they don't really have a choice. They got to feed their family, so they start their own little gold mining operations. And all these independent or illegal gold mining operations, there's no restrictions. Nobody's watching it. Everybody's kind of turning a blind eye. The government is turning a blind eye to the foreign nationals, and the result is an absolute devastation of the Amazon basin. There's so much pollution and contamination down there. It's really sad. So that's what I want to do is I want to go down there. I want to expose these problems, but I also want to show that there are solutions and alternatives. And I also want to connect the dots for people to show that, hey, we're all guilty. If you buy gold, you're responsible for somebody dying. Bottom line. That's the math equation. Somebody dies every time an ounce of gold is made. A child dies from contamination from mercury in the water, or an activist dies from people throwing him off his land or being murdered. So the equation is very simple. If you buy gold, someone dies. But it'd be nice to be able to have alternative sources of currency, and I just don't really know what the solution is there. So that's what I want to do, is open up a discussion where we all become a little bit more aware of the actions that we have, even though we're in other parts of the world. What goes on in places like the Amazon basin, we're all responsible for those things. Our governments are responsible. Foreign national companies are responsible. Maybe your brother-in-law works for the mining company, or your sister works as an accountant for Monsanto. I don't know, but we're all responsible. We're all connected. And one of the things that I really learned when I was in Peru last time was the connectivity of the whole world. There's so many species there. The biodiversity is intense and insane. And I really felt for the first time in my life that I was connected to everything, because it's so powerful. And I feel driven to come back and finish this project, and I invite you to come along with me. Like I said, I'm gonna do a broadcast about once a week from the remote areas, And I look forward to your questions and your challenges, but most importantly, I look forward to people who have solutions to offer, because that's what we really need at this point, is some solutions. So have a great day, and I'll talk to you from Peru next time, hopefully.